Now, when a person sins, the potential of a person's neshama is minimized when a person sins. So our mazel is that we, Baruch Hashem, we have a lot of neshama. So even though it becomes minimized, we still have something to work with. But that portion which left us will never come back. There are certain things that when a person sins, that already tmimus he can't reach. He can't be pure. He can't be completely tamim. Once he tasted the taste of sin, his heart is gas. His heart is already connected and attached to this sin. Every time the sin comes by him, then his neshama will already come out and want to do the sin. He won't be able to get to the level of tamimus. Once a person tasted sin, he always has to put boundaries for himself. Adam Rishon lost this upper part of his neshama. This comes only for big tzaddikim, and the generations like Chanoch and Yosef received some of this upper neshama. This part of the neshama comes down into this world to fix the world. It can't be ruined here in this world. So pay attention. What does it mean that Yosef, the wife of Potiphar, came to him, and he almost sinned, and all of a sudden, the image of his father became revealed to him. So why did this happen? Some people explain that it means the image of Adam Rishon came to him, and he said, "You're from Ezir Ilah, you're from the upper part of my neshama, and you're going to a sin," and that stopped Yosef, the tzaddik, from sinning. So why does he have this privilege that he should have such a siyata d'shamaya to help him not sin? Because these nitzotzos of these neshamas of Ezir Ilah, the upper part of the person's neshama, the part that only comes to fix this world. They don't come into this world that in a way they could get ruined. They can only be helped. They can only help. So you mentioned before that there is such a thing that a neshama comes here only to gain mitzvahs, and we don't really calculate the averos. This is a very, very extreme case. So when we speak about clear averos on mitzvahs lo sasa, every neshama that comes into this world and does one of the sins of lo sasa, it damages the neshama, and this part of the neshama needs to be cleaned. When the neshama doesn't do one of the active mitzvahs that he has to do, one of the positive mitzvahs, mitzvah, he has a lack. And there's a difference between a lack of perfection, and dirt that needs to be cleaned. Now, there could be a situation that a person did not create one of the mitzvahs here in this world, because in the previous Gilgul, he already perfected himself in that mitzvah. For example, one of the places that Arizal says that Ben Azai, that he didn't get married, it's because he already perfected the mitzvah of pure virvia in a previous Gilgul. And a person can't know this. A person can't know if he finished or if he didn't finish the previous Gilgul. Therefore, we have to do all the mitzvahs. But the Chachamim, the earlier Chachamim, they used to ask their friends, "What did your father deal with the most? What did he like to do?" And each one would answer, "This one didn't deal with time. This one time his tzitzis got torn when he was on the top of a ladder, and he screamed out, 'Bring me tzitzis. I'm not going to go down from the ladder before you bring me new tzitzis. I don't want to go even like half a meter without tzitzis.'" So why did the rabbis ask each other, "What did your father deal with?" Why did they ask him? Because they want to know what their tikkun is. What is his gilgul? Why does he come to this world for? Sometimes a person, you're drawn to a special mitzvah. This shows that you came into this world for that mitzvah, and this is your tikkun. And sometimes you see very strange things. For example, there's in the shul, there's a certain one person that when you daven, he looks at you, he'll focus on you, he'll look, and he'll go like this. Move over your tefillin 1 millimeter over to the left. If you don't move it, if you don't move, he's going to move it for you. So the whole time you're just hiding from him, so he shouldn't see you, he shouldn't drive you crazy. He finds a person, and he focuses on him, and he makes him straighten out his tefillin. So there's people like that they have this thing, they need everyone to have their tefillin on straight, perfectly straight. And once I was in a certain yeshiva where this one guy, his whole head was just to cause people after they go to the bathroom that they should use water to clean themselves. and he would put out papers saying that you have to that using toilet paper is maise domi, and his whole thing was just this topic, just trying to convince people not to on this topic. I don't know what kind of Gilgul this is, but I don't know why this specific thing is what interested him in his life. But everyone has their own thing. This happened 25 years until today. I have this inside my head. Now, for me, he convinced me. One person is against shaitels. All of his day, he's trying to convince people not to wear shaitels. Another person is against another type of hair covering. And each person has their own topic and their own thing, and they try to convince everyone. They try to work on that topic very much, and you don't know what's drawing him, what's moving him to do this. And the Rizal says, what's moving him is Shorosh Neshama. He's Shorosh Neshama. So he said the upper part is a Zirilah that went up, and these are neshama, very special neshamas that come to fix the generation. The second part is part that's left inside the Admorishan. Since Admorishan ate from Eitzadas Tovrim, this part became contaminated. But it's not like the third part, which actually went down into the Klippas. And that means that the one who got the third chelik is Adam Blial, evil person, evil aspect. And this has to go out either through the Tikla, as we said before, it'll move over to the Kedusha. And unfortunately we don't have so much nachas from all these things. We were limited all these 2,000 years. We got up to 15 million people before the Holocaust. And at the Holocaust, a third of the Jewish people were killed. And now we got up to about the same size. But in America, we have a mixture where people marry intermarriage. Sometimes 70 or 80% or even 90% completely intermarry, and they become completely almost like non-Jewish. And also in Israel there's also intermarriage, even though it sounds very strange. All sorts of Jewish women, more than 50,000 Jewish women that get married to Arab men, and all the Jewish men that marry the Russian girls that aren't Jewish. Also here, if you pay attention, you'll see that there's intermarriage, even though it's not as bad as it is in America. Still, the situation is not so good. In any case, these neshamas fell into the klipa, and the situation is much worse than those neshamas that were in Adam Rishon that just got damaged. This is what he's saying, that the klipas, they are the ones that are called the level of Mosa, level of death. And they were zoche in this piece of a neshama, the neshama that went down to them. And why is it so good for them? They got this. Since the kedusha is alive and klipa is dead, and the death needs life to live, well, every drop of kedusha that falls from kedusha into klipa, that's what gives them life, and they fight very hard to get this. You could see that the Muslims, they fight with us on the ground, for the earth. Meaning they want to rule over the place that we live, because they understand that the place that we are will give them the kedusha that they need. So they're trying to rule over the holy, most holy place, and they put their mosque there. And from there they get chiyus, they get koach, they get energy, spiritual energy. Since Beis HaMikdash sends out energy to the whole world, from the place of Beis HaMikdash it sends out chiyus to the whole Arab world. And that's why even there's arguments of what to do with the place of the Beis HaMikdash. The biggest mistake was to give them the key, to let them rule over it. They should have just locked it, destroy everything, and wait till Mashiach comes to build the Beis HaMikdash. They should have done that from the beginning. You see that their control over this is like a story about the person who comes to another person and says, "Sell me a place on the wall that I could put up a nail," and then from that he takes over the whole house. So this place is ours, and at the end of the day they rule over it. We give them energy, and you try to hurt them, you try to do something, you try to change a bridge or something like that, and they start fighting and they're making wars. Why? because they get energy from this place. And realize where everything that's holy for us, they also want to settle there. Also Mas Machpelah, they also settled there. Kever Yosef, they also settled there. Shmuel and Navi, they also settled there. Rachel Imenu also there. Every place that we settled, place that's Kodesh for us, they also tried to say that it's also there, since it gives them energy also. On the other side, the Christians, the place is less interesting for them. Even though there were all sorts of things that happened to them, that they wanted to capture all sorts of places with crusaders. But more interesting for them is the neshamas, the Jewish neshamas, the souls of the people. That's why they're always dealing with making us Christian. They want to do inquisitions. They want to do all sorts of ways to make the Jewish people, the soul of the Jewish people, to become Christian. And they didn't succeed. So when they didn't succeed, they make democratic governments, and they do all sorts of other things which works even better than all the inquisitions and all the other things that they did. So even though by the Muslims they had Anusay Mashad, where they forced all sorts of Jews from different places to become their religion, and another couple other places also they had this. But the main thing that the Muslims were interested in trapping the place, and the Christians were more interested in trapping the souls of the Jewish people. And why is this? Because the place and the neshamas give them energy, and this energy is what keeps them alive. If you understand why they need, till today, the Christians in the Vatican, they keep all the precious things to us, all the amazing things that they stole from us, from the Jewish people. They keep there in the Vatican. All sorts of old sfarm that we don't even have, that we've never seen before. Some of the things that were in the base of Mikdash they have in the Vatican, and they don't let us even see it. They don't even tell us what there is there. If you hate us so much, why are you holding us the things from the base of Mikdash? It's not that it shouldn't be able to advance and go forward. It gives them chiyus, it gives them energy. All the Christianity is built on a big pile on top of Jewish principles. They took the Jewish principles and they built on top of it whatever they want. Once you take out the Jewish principle, then everything will fall like a deck of cards, like a house of cards. This is what Arizal says. And the Klippas run after the Kedusha. They're called. They get life, and they try to take the sources of Kedusha. When they get it inside of them, then they get life from it. It says like there's a rose among the thorns, and the thorns know that once the rose is taken down, then also the thorn will all be destroyed. Why the thorns left? Because there's also roses. The thorns stop the roses from being taken, and once the rose isn't taken, then the thorns also have life. Thorns also can exist. Some people understood this, that there's a reason to keep the Jewish people amongst them. The Moroccans, Russia, they wanted to make the Jews stay, and if the Jews tried to leave, then they forbid them from leaving. They did all sorts of problems that they caused them. Once the Jews left Spain became a very lowly nation till today. Afterwards, they understood what they did. You knew there were all sorts of business people for the king of Sfarad, and they tried to convince the people to come back to about 150 years after the Inquisition. They tried to convince people to come back to the Jewish to Spain. And they kicked these people out, so that the Jews shouldn't ever come back. And now, if you go there, you'll see there's almost there's no hint of the Jewish place that they have there, because they got rid of everything, got rid of all the Jews there. And they also found, and also today, Spain did not pick itself up from before 500 years, and they didn't. Now instead they have Muslims that says they got Arabs instead, and now they say they got rid of the Jews. They got the Jews. They got the Arabs, and now the Arabs just build land and do all sorts of things. One day the Christian places will understand, and the other places will understand what they did, and then they're going to fight. And this is the fight that they explain that there's going to be against Islam. When there's no kedusha inside of them, the Rav says, then they die, and then they run after the Jewish people, and they try to make them do sins, because then they get koach from it, and they get energy from the sins that the Jewish people do. So this whole process is things that the neshamas, the holy neshamas, should be inside of them, so that they should be able to develop themselves, and to be able to develop their sins on our calculation. Now, since the neshama is holy, it cannot be completely disconnected from the holy place, from that holiness. It says, that everything will come back to the end, to kedusha in the end, all the holy neshamas. Now, what is a neshama? Altogether, what is a neshama? Neshama is a potential. This potential is very big. Each one of us don't know how to use this whole neshama. One little drop we know how to use. When you do more mitzvahs, you draw upon yourself more potential. When a person does sins, it goes away. It says a person doesn't do an avera until ruch shtus goes in. So it's dynamic. Sometimes he has more, sometimes he has less. Everything is dependent on the actions that you do in that time. So after 120 years, they want to see what did you do with this neshama. We can't make the neshama sin. We only make the levushim sin. The levush gets ruined, but the neshama itself can't get ruined. We say every morning, the kind neshama shenasat bi Torah. The neshama that you put inside of me is holy. You created, you made it. We say specifically that the neshama is chelik l'kamima. We can't damage the chelik l'kamima, a part of Hashem kiviyachol. What we can do is we can make it go away. Like the Zeri Allah that goes away. And that we finish with a final calculation with Hashem. How much neshama did you take advantage of, did you use here in this world? Some people come with 1%, some people come with 10%, some people come with 100%. Now what will happen is like this. 100%, you get 100% of the potential that was given to you. Most of the time people don't finish the whole 100%. The Shorosh Neshama is a 5 liter, and you got, let's say, 100 cc's, and once you finish 100 cc, you have to die. You finished your purpose in this world. The next Gilgul will start from the next 100 cc's, and so on and so forth. Even though it's called a Gilgul, it's not the same thing. Every person will come up in Tchesa with a potential that he finished fixing. And what he didn't finish fixing, his friend will get up from the same shorish. The question is not who's going to get up the Tchesa Mesim, it's not the first or second. In very specific cases, like in the case of Yibum, where the son of the Yavama is exactly the neshama of the brother who died. But not in every situation. The situations of Gilgul, the two are connected, the previous Gilgul and the next Gilgul, but it's not exactly the same thing. The potential of the first CCs and the next Gilgul is the second CCs, and so on and so forth. But what could be is a situation where the two could help each other. I'm going to explain this. Now one neshama started fixing itself. It was in Adam Rishon, 100 cc, and the next one is next 100 cc, and now 40 of these finished most of the neshama. Now, if we, the last generation, we want to finish the tikkun already, we're here the end in this whole system. All the 40 that we had before us, they have an interest to finish already. So, because with this finishing, everyone's going to get a special uplifting, a special level. If a person goes in the right direction, the situation where a neshama could be misaber, could go inside of him, if according to the Shorish neshama. So, for example, he was born in a non-Jewish house, for example, and one day he is chazar b'tshuva. You could see sometimes chazar b'tshuva is extremely intense, and in a very short period of time he develops very quickly, and he much more than sometimes a person who's born religious. How could this be? How did he learn so quickly? How did he develop so quickly? I've seen in some sfarim that a person has to, let's say, reach to level 100, and a person's climbing. But when he reaches the 90th level, he sees some guy with jeans and a hat. He's standing there eating seeds, and he said, "How did you get here? I've been working here for 90 years, going up and up and up." Another one said, "I've learned up 5 steps, and I saw an elevator. I went in, pressed a button, and I was here now on the 90th level." This is a situation where a person reaches also to fire for serving Hashem, and in one moment he's able to go up all the way to the top. So it's not that he goes up to this very, very quickly. He can go up. And sometimes it happens that a person comes from the side of the klipa, he has a very, very intense aliyah, where as opposed to a person who goes slowly, it takes him a lot longer. So now he was there and he woke up to do tshuva. Now all these other 40 Gilgulim have very big interest to enhance him, to develop him. So what they do is they go into him. They all go into him. It could be not all of them. The person could have 3 Iburim at the same time from his Shorish neshama. And what will happen to this person? This person will wake up in the morning and he'll feel like he has an interest, he has excitement, he has a desire, and he doesn't know where it came from. And it came from these neshamas that went into him. There are things that take them away, though. Anger, for example. This is the first thing that gets rid of Iburim. Anyone who gets angry, all sorts of Gehenna is shot on him. Now these came to help him, and he gets angry, so they all leave. Another thing it's brought, if he sleeps too much, especially during the day. If he sleeps during the day, they don't like. I said, "What? We came to sleep." If he doesn't have the excitement, then he's not going to. They're going to leave. In any case, this is a situation we have to understand that the neshama on one side is a Gilgul neshamas, and on the other side, everyone is going to get up in Tchias HaMeisim. Because every neshama, Tchias HaMeisim is the potential that person exactly fixed. So there's almost no person that didn't fix something. Therefore, everyone we're gonna be there in the end. But some people finished a lot, and some people get up in the Tchias HaMeisim with a very small amount, because they didn't do so much here in this world. So for the Rav here says, all these akdamas that we mentioned, this is discussing the secret of Galus HaShechina. And from when there's Galus, this is the purpose of the Shechina until he fixes all the neshamas. If the Beis HaMikdash is there, then the Kedusha draws all the neshamas and all the nitzotzos from the Galus to Eretz Yisrael. Once the Beis HaMikdash is destroyed, all our neshamas have to go out in a way that our neshamas will be like a magnet to draw out all the other nitzotzos. Because people can't do it from far away, so we do it from close. We actually go out and take the nitzotzos, attach themselves to us. And the smak, which is Sefer Halacha, says, why are we not allowed to steal from Goy? If you steal from the Goy, so the Goy is going to say, "Oh, these people are mamzerim, I'm not interested in them, I hate them." And this causes a distance from the Goy, from the Jew, and then they don't become gerim. And the whole reason why we went into Galus is only to gather gerim. So what are you doing? You're making the Galus even more deep. And therefore, every one of these things, if a person goes back to actually what's happening nowadays, so you have to be for Chil Hashem. Sometimes you think that you're going to do a certain thing, something extreme, and this will prove how much we love Hashem and the Torah. Bad in these things could push people away. the nation is judged according to the rov. You think that you're going to be the tzaddik and everyone else is going to be Rishayim? What kind of thing is this? The main thing in this generation is doing kiruv. Every action which is done in a way that pushes people away, you may not be doing anything. You see the Maccabees, they do Kiddush Hashem. In the end of the day, their actions brought people to Kedusha. And here these actions bring people away. So what are you doing with this? Two people came to me. They were in a Beis Mishpat, they were in a court case. When the judge saw they looked Haredi, so he right away paskined against them. He decided the law against him. You see, it affects this whole procedure affects the whole tzibur in a way that causes all sorts of people to do bad things against the whole people. In any case, in our situation, when will the Gula come? When all the neshamas finished being collected from Adam Bilial, when they finish from the head to the feet of this neshama, until they gather even the ones that fell down to the feet. In a different place, the Rizal says, if you tell me the length of Netzach and Hod of the Klippa, then I'll tell you exactly when Mashiach will come. Because exactly according to the length of the Netzach and Hod of the Klippa, that's exactly when you can figure out exactly when Mashiach is going to come. And we won't get a good Galus until these Netzosos become purified. This is the Lashon of the Zohar, Kadmasu Reglichu B'Reglin. Means that the feet of the Kedusha will perfect all the feet of the Tumah. And then it says, Vamdu Ragla B'Yamahu B'Zar Zeisim, that Hashem will put his feet on Har Zeisim, Kivyacha. And the Shekhinah only fixes them through the action of the people here in this world. It says, Tnu Oz L'Elohim, give koach to Hashem. There's a very deep thing, all the depth and all the connection between the body and the soul and everything like that. What is the reason for this? The reason says, when Hashem created the world, He created the world with He created a world of godliness, which is Lama Tzilus, which He also created, which wasn't before the creation of the world. And this happened after the Tzimtzum, the creation of Atzilus. So Atzilus itself is lacking. So it's amazing that also the world of godliness Kiviyachol is lacking, and the one who could fix it, that would give Mochin Lazar, and you bring Shefa to Abanima and all these other things, to bring my Nukfir and make Zivug and Elyonim and bring Shefa down back to Zah. This is all in the hands of people. Till Moshe Rabbeinu, every great person was able to affect the upper worlds. And from Moshe Rabbeinu, he says, he asked Hashem, he says, I'm not ready that other people from the Goyim should be able to affect things in Shemayim. Only to the Jewish people and to the Tzaddikim. And from then, Hashem brought them down and have made it so that they can't affect the upper worlds. The only one that can now affect the upper worlds is Am Yisrael. Therefore, us through our actions can cause Tnuaz Elokim to strengthen Kiviyachol HaKadosh Baruch Hu. As opposed, on the other side, there's Tzulat Choteshi, that we can Chas V'Shalom Hashem's power in this world by doing sins. Chas V'Shalom. It's a strange thing. How does it mean Hashem made a shavua that Hashem will destroy the Amalekim? Until today, we still have Amalekim even in Israel. And this is what Hashem made a shavua that He's going to destroy the Amalekim. So this shavua is dependent on our actions. He made a shavua that if you give me koach, then I will destroy them. If you weaken me, then they will stay here. The actual fact that we will be pure in this world gives us that they are here in the world is proof that we did not enable Hashem Kivyacho to complete His shavua by giving koach, by doing mitzvahs. So according to the definition, according to the way that we do mitzvahs here in this world, that's how Hashem Kivyacho has koach. if there's a lot of tshuva here in this world, and there are a lot of people that need to, marriages that need to have children, so there aren't enough in kedusha, so we'll be able to get from klipa, and they'll become kodesh. And also, like we said before, that when these neshamas from the klipa go to the neshama, and some go to the other side, then they meet in the middle, and they take them with them. And the way they win is according to the tikla. Who's going to take who? Is the kedusha going to take the klipa, or the klipa going to take the kedusha? And this is dependent on the way things are here in this world. And if it's opposite, here there's all sorts of people that are going off the derech. There'll be a situation where somebody wants to be chozer b'tshuva. This is the hardest thing when somebody starts being chozer b'tshuva. Somebody came to him and said, "Well, you don't want to leave this place." And they totally ruin the Baal Tshuva. They keep him in his place. They keep him as a rasha, and they're all dependent on how the things are here in this world. Here in this world, if things are good, then people will be chozer b'tshuva easily. And as much tshuva as we do, that's what gives koch. That gives koch to take all the nitzotzos of kedusha from the tumah, and we could do it even in one moment. And our sins weaken this. And when all the neshamas, all the nitzotzos leave, then also the shechina will leave there, and the klipas will die. That's what it says, bila mavis la'netzach. It says these klipas that are called mavis will be destroyed, completely finished, because the shechina leaves them. And everything will come back to the side of kedusha. And all the rest will be finished, will be destroyed forever. But he says, however, since we're in Galus, and since the Shechina is also in Galus, the Shechina also needs Shefa for itself. So Hashem says, send Shefa to the Shechina to give it Chiyus, and since it sends it Shechina, the Klip is also good. We'll be okay, but also the Klip is good. And then we see wherever the Shechina is there, wherever there's most of the Jewish people, that Medina, that state becomes the most powerful one. Like America ruled over the world, and now in Israel there are more in America, and we're slowly also ruling now in this world. And the Shechina isn't Gola only because it goes in Golos because of the neshamas, and therefore they want the neshama, the Shechina to go into them. They want Shefa and they want Chiyus, so they're always trying to draw the Shechina into them, the neshamas of Klal Yisrael into them. Even the Arabs. I was once in the army in Lebanon, so we argued with the Lebanese, and I said, "Go back to Tunisia. And what are you doing here, Bechla? You're from Tunisia, Morocco. What are you doing here? What are you doing here?" And they want to push us back there. So there should be more chiyus over there. They don't know what they're saying, but this is what they really mean. So their whole purpose is to draw the neshamas into them, and they should get kedusha. They should get koach and shefa and parnasa from them. Wherever there's Jewish people, that's where the parnasa goes. And according to the greatness of the neshama, that's the shefa. That's how much shefa goes to them. You see how much the goyim they get. They do a museum for the Rambam. And when the Rambam was there, whoever paid attention to him? The Malmi Prague. And now in Prague, till today, there's a museum, and they're proud. The Marach lived by us. When he was there, though, who paid attention to him? All they did was give him tzaros. And therefore, when the neshama wants to leave, they don't want him to let it leave. And their whole purpose is to make it tameh in order to keep it by them. And as much as they matamet, they don't leave. And when they're afraid that a big tzaddik will be able to do a big mitzvah and be able to go out and be able to take out kedusha when they're with their neshama, so what they do is they try to be matamet the neshama that this tzaddik has as a child. So sometimes they take, because of the sins, they take a neshama that has, they have to find a father, the worst father and mother, because it's the neshama is a very holy neshama. Because if this neshama is by a tzaddik, then they have no chance. So look for the lowest person, and therefore when they see a certain Rasha who's pogrom, and they take the neshama, a holy neshama, and they put it inside his zera, through the father being such a Rasha, the child will also become more tama, and should even come out more tama and never come out. But Hashem gets big pleasure from all this, and he and he takes this neshama and he lets it go into the tumah, so the holy child will have talmudic appearance. And then the neshama, Hashem helps it to come back up and grow up. Like a chicken that all day it's sitting out in the garbage, and then when it goes in, it shakes off his feathers, and all the dirt falls off. And then it's like this neshama is like a clean diamond that cleans itself off. And not only that, when it comes back from the tumah, it also takes part from the tumah, the kedusha that was in the tumah, and it brings them over into the good side. And not only does that neshama go back to be kodesh, also brings his father to be chozer b'tshuva also. So now it was a Gilgul of Terach, and it was because Avram Avinu was chozer b'tshuva, so also this neshama Iyov was also chozer b'tshuva. Hashem should be mezaka, sebez Hashem, lis nidach meno nidach. Nobody will be pushed away, and everyone will be chozer b'tshuva. Mashiach should come very soon. Here it's on, this shir should be for my mother, Miriam Basindo.